Hi, I'm Janet Fielding. I played Tegan in Doctor Who, the Five-ish Fangirls. Have a good time.
The tangents of Squee continue all the way to episode 116 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. Pure evil as opposed to what? Fake evil? Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do every week. We'll go on the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany in Bellevue. This is Chrissy in Salt Lake City. This is Sally from Wisconsin.
This is Mitch in Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're here. Well,
Happy
rolled out of our
shopping.
most of us rolled out of our turkey coma, so.
Well, sort of.
Some of us are still in a turkey coma.
I had 5 hours of driving to get back home. Last night. I'm just, ugh.
Yeah.
I cannot brain today. I has the dumb.
That's okay. We talk fandom stuff here. There's no PhD required, so.
This is true.
Oh, anyway, hopefully everyone who celebrates Thanksgiving had a good Thanksgiving, and for those of you that don't, hopefully you just had a good Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thursdays are, by and large, fairly inoffensive.
Yeah. It's like one more day till the end of the week, end of the work week. So.
Yeah.
It's all good. Well,
It is.
Yeah, anyway.
Well, for the most part.
Yeah. We're all dragging our feet because we don't want to do, like, the news this week.
No.
Yeah.
Must be done.
Yeah, we're all kind of over it, so. Couple of pieces of 10 o'clock news, unfortunately.
Yeah.
First is Ron Glass, who, depending on, I guess, your age and or your taste in television, you either know him as Shepard from Firefly or the Detective Ron Glass on Barney Miller. So, although he did make an appearance on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well, so.
Yep, series premiere.
Yeah.
I thought he was actually going to be in the show proper.
No, just a special guest. So,
Yeah.
But, yeah, he passed away at the age of 71. And,
Which is fairly young. Relatively, anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well. But, yeah, a lot of the Firefly related memoriams have been in the social medias. So yeah, he was at the very first Indie PopCon 3 years ago. So I didn't meet him, but I caught part of his panel, and the bits that I caught, he seemed like a really nice gentleman, very well spoken, and seemed to enjoy talking about the stuff he's done. Especially we know the brown coats are very strong fandom. So
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Those are most of the tributes I saw
mm-hmm.
to him online were in reference to Shepard Book and Firefly, and it was just kind of like, oh man, and this sucks so much.
Yep.
Ugh. 2016 just needs to go away already.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and the other one, the fact that we have to do more than one is sad in itself. But the other one is essentially TV's first mom, like real I mean, obviously there were TV shows on with, mother figures, but, most people, when they think of TV moms, you think of the Brady Bunch and Carol Brady, and we lost Florence Henderson. She actually passed away on Thanksgiving, apparently, but she was with her family, which is a good thing. But yeah, I mean, I grew up on a lot of those shows, the Brady Bunch and some of those shows from the 60s and 70s, because I spent a lot of time watching TV Land as a kid.
Same here.
Yeah. But actually, to me, Florence Henderson being a Hoosier native, she's also a Hoosier native. She's born and raised here in Indiana, and she's always been a staple at the Indianapolis 500. The month of May would roll around, and she would always be. She was usually in the parade that we have in downtown Indianapolis, and then she was always at the race itself. She always sang "God Bless America," I think. So she was. They made her the Grand Marshal for the last race, this year's race. It was the 100th running of the Indianapolis 500. So to me, as a Hoosier, Florence Henderson is a staple of the Indianapolis 500 festivities. And actually, it was my junior year of high school. I was a band geek in high school, but I was in the marching band, but I was actually part of the color guard, not the band. And my junior year of high school, we got invited to be part of a larger group of color guard members from a couple other schools to do a routine in the 500 parade right before the drivers make their appearance in the parade, because the drivers always bring up the rear, kind of like Santa at Thanksgiving. Yeah. So they had us, taught us a routine and all that, and then we go downtown the day of the parade, and they take us to the staging area, and we're just kind of standing around, and it just so happened that Florence Henderson came by where we were standing, and a whole bunch of us rushed over to her and started singing the theme song from the Brady Bunch. Which she found very sweet.
That is so cool.
So, it was one of those things where it's like we saw her, we were like moths to the bug zapper, on your front porch. We're like, Mrs. Brady! And, she smiled and, thanked us for it, and then she had to go and get into her vehicle for the parade, and we had to go back to our little spot. So, but that's my encounter with Florence Henderson. Serenading her with some of my fellow color guard members with the Brady Bunch theme song. So, she'll definitely be missed as, when the month of May comes around again, and hopefully they can find someone to, not fill her shoes because those are shoes that cannot be filled, but find someone who can step up to the plate to be the part of the opening ceremony festivities that she always was.
They'll probably do a memorial thing for her there too.
Yeah, more than likely.
Yeah, I did not know that about her. That is actually really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's one of those Hoosiers that I'm like, yeah, I'll claim her that she's from this state, unlike some others. Or I'm like, yeah, do we have to claim them?
I can even remember she had a cooking show on the old TNN before it became the Spike Network called What's Cookin'. And every now and again I would flip around and watch that and see what she... She had a couple of sidekicks that were a comedy duo, and I just remember having a blast watching that, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Yep, she will be missed. Both of these folks will be missed for their contribution. So.
Yeah.
And our last bit of news. Off to more.
It's actually, yeah.
Happy stuff.
This is actually good news for once.
Good news is we have our first official casting announcement for Star Trek Discovery. We have a face to go on the cast list that really needs to be fleshed out, apparently.
Yeah, it's supposed to go out in May.
Yeah, considering we
I
have
sure hope you guys are
person.
Something.
Because I was thinking about that a couple of days ago. I'm just like, they've been awfully quiet with.
Yeah, I don't know if they're just filming and not saying anything or what.
Possibly, I don't know. I just know this. The Star Trek geeks in my life are starting to get a little nervous, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
A little bit, well, but apparently, Nicholas Meyer, who's writing some of the scripts for the series, let it be known that Michelle Yeoh, I hope I'm saying that right, is going to be in it. Not quite sure who she's going to be playing yet, or at the time, when Nicholas Meyer was talking, they didn't know who she was playing yet. But another website is reporting that she's going to play a Starfleet captain by the name of Han Bo, who's assigned to the USS Shenzhou, and not the Discovery. So she'll be, I guess, a fellow Starfleet captain. Now, this is all still hearsay. Sources say to this random website, so take this all with a grain of salt on who she's actually playing.
She is definitely cast. We just don't know what exactly she is cast, who she's cast as.
Pretty much. So it'll be a bit of a departure from, I guess, what she normally stars in. If you look at the things she's been in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Tomorrow Never Dies, The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. So,
the one we don't ever talk about.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's that other one. It's like Torchwood season 4. It's like, didn't happen. No. So, yeah, watch this space, I guess, for more details as CBS decides to let loose, if any. At this point, we're all just going, CBS, whatever. Do what you're gonna do. Because apparently CBS just got their own way that they're doing things, and it'll work or it won't, I guess. So, but, yep. Well, that's really it for news. I know we're getting towards the end of the month. We're working on, obviously the poll for the book club is still going to be active for a couple more days. And then
those of you who haven't voted yet, we have 5 votes for the Lethbridge Stewart Times Squared novel and 4 votes for the 12 Doctors of Christmas. So if you aren't happy with either of those choices, please go to the website and vote. And the announcement for what the December book will be posted on the 1st, so make sure you check the Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
And same goes with December's photo challenge. It kind of snuck up on me, and I kind of forgot. So, but I do have what I plan to have set up. Just have to get the little details done. And watch this Facebook page.
Yep.
Yep. Alrighty then. So, on to the topic at hand, which... Oh, let me get comfy here. Yeah. The Librarians. The Librarians are back.
Oh,
I know, it
I
almost...
missed you.
Yes, speaking of things sneaking up on us, I nearly missed it, but we're here, finally.
Well, we've been in we've been in this long Doctor Who drought. And then, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been off for, 4 weeks. And then Once Upon a Time took a week off. So we're kind of over here I need something to watch. Not that there aren't, 5 billion other things that we need to be watching, too. But...
Netflix.
Everything on the CW. But, it's you're still feeling I need something to watch. And then you're good. Then the Librarians comes back and you go, oh, yeah. I remember this. This is fabulous. I'm glad this is back.
This show makes me happy. It's I don't know how to, because I was watching the episode today. I actually watched it twice because I was doing laundry and I missed parts of it. So I watched again. Oh dear, whatever shall I do? And I was just I just love how goofy it is, and it's just so much fun, and it's the best. So yes, I've missed it.
And they really didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, I mean, what am I trying to say? It's it's a new villain, it's a new adversary coming up. But it's all these characters are here and we love them, and it's the same sort of rhythm and it's the same tone, and it's just, I was saying same a lot, and usually when people think, oh, that's the same, it makes it sound like it's boring or repetitive, but it's really not. I think you just kind of need something that's comfortable.
Good way.
Yes.
It's
because just with the previews I saw and what they're going to be facing, we kind of need that sameness that we're probably going to get bits and pieces of here and there, but we need that.
It doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's not.
Oh no, it never has.
It's not so funny that it's ridiculous and you get annoyed by it can be. So. It's a really good balance. I think we've said this too when talking about the last 2 seasons. It's a really good show, but it doesn't have the name recognition like some of the others.
Exactly.
If you drop Once Upon a Time, people are gonna be oh yeah, I know about that. And you mentioned the library. What, that movie that came out years ago? What are you talking about? It's no, this this little show on TNT of all networks. I don't know what else is on TNT. Reruns, I think, of other stuff. So it's on this random network that shows Lord knows what else. And it is on Sunday evenings. It's on the same time as Once Upon a Time, so that doesn't help it any. Probably, but at the same time, it doesn't seem to be hurting anything.
Going on.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be hurting anything either, because the fan base seems to be strong enough that TNT keeps bringing it back.
Yeah, well, and Once Upon a Time's going on hiatus now, and they kind of tend to play it during that winter break kind of thing, which helps because the main network shows are not on right now, or they're going to not be on soon. So it's oh yeah, that works, and just something nice and fluffy. It was funny because a friend of mine, well, actually, it's a friend from our D&D group. She was over. We were just gonna hang out, but not everybody had gotten here yet. So I was like, "Have you ever watched?" We showed the Christmas episode from the first season with Bruce Campbell, because They're
Bruce
all big
Campbell.
Bruce Campbell fans. And that's what, when I showed it to Jared, he's like, Bruce Campbell is Santa Claus and everything. And so he's like, I got to show this out to the group. So we showed them just the one episode. They all liked it. But I showed Leanne, is this friend's name, the first the first episode of the first season. And, you know, she was like, she's kind of, she's very involved in stories. Like, if something doesn't have a really good story or she's not entertained, she has no problem in saying, so it's like, this is boring, I don't want to watch this anymore. She was like, and she doesn't typically go for really silly kind of things like this, but she just loved it. And she's like, oh my God, like she's laughing at all the different parts. And like the bit about, you know, ninjas in Oklahoma, like that was like, she loved that. And I was just like, this is kind of cool. And she's like, where can I watch this? And I'm like, well, I think it's on Hulu. And I know at least the first season is, probably the second by now.
They did bring it. They did bring both of the seasons back right before season 3 was supposed to air. Because I had another friend that I was talking to at work. She's like, well, where can I find this? I'm like, I think Hulu's put all the episodes back up now.
Yeah. So I told her, you can watch it there, and if you like it, and if you really want to, I have them all on iTunes. You can come over and watch them.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just, I don't know. It's just, it's the first episode is about you know, they're all back at the library, and they've been doing their you know, adventures. I guess they're if, you know, if we had a season of them in the off season, I suppose they'd be doing their Monster of the Week split off thing. And, you know, Eve is badgering Flynn to take a vacation and everything. And, you know, it's just business as usual. And then suddenly they have an evil Egyptian, I guess he's an Egyptian god, or he was an Egyptian god. Yep. The god of chaos coming in to, as it says on the tin, wreak chaos.
Yeah.
And Jenkins being Jenkins.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Jenkins.
Yeah. I love them all. They just like they come back on the screen and are like, oh, I missed you. Oh, I missed you too. I missed you too.
I missed you 3.
And then of course they have to bring up Stumpy.
Have you
Stumpy.
seen the vlog that the writer and director have been doing of the episodes that is available as part of the season pass on iTunes?
Oh yeah, they have the little
those little 4-minute videos.
Yeah.
Where they talk about the episode and what went into it and what their decision making process was like for how they would do the episode, and so those are interesting.
Yeah, they include those in every season pass you get with iTunes, and some of them I've watched. Some of them aren't quite as interesting as others, but they shed a lot of light on you know, what they did. I think the one from last year with Stumpy, it's kind of
Poor
funny.
Stumpy.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
the gargoyle never was so cute.
I listened to the commentaries for the season 1 for the Librarians because I broke down about the DVDs, and it was like they had the creators had commented, "You wouldn't believe all the Twitter email messages and all that we got over the. How could people be scarred over an inanimate object?" And it's like, guys, you did it again with Stumpy.
Yeah.
And Stumpy was only one episode.
Do not learn your lesson.
Yeah.
Quit killing off our inanimate objects.
I know, especially after you imbue them with such personality and fun. I mean, nobody's fretting over the twine from the Labyrinth episode, but Excalibur and Stumpy,
Yeah. Well, and now they have the clipping book burst into play.
Yeah.
Right?
I saw that and it's like, okay, that's
so
not
I'm
good.
confused. Does that mean that their little clippings books don't work anymore? Because I was like,
That's
but they have
to be found out.
Yeah, because I was like, but they have their little ones. I mean, presumably, unless they say otherwise, those still work, but maybe not. I don't know.
Guess we'll find out.
We have yet
maybe.
to find out.
Yeah.
And then we have Flynn and some of his almost doctorish.
Flynn.
Mad professor, especially when Jenkins is trying to give the rundown and Flynn's moving around and then s'mores.
Yeah.
Here you go. This is like, okay.
Or else you'll be talking about something like fun fact.
Character.
It's amazing the librarians ever get anything done. Just as scattered and I guess that's what the Guardians are for, but as scattered and disjointed as they sometimes can be, much to Jenkins's
chagrin.
I was gonna say disapproval. I'm like, nah, that's not quite it.
I mean, you got to admit that Jenkins really deep down cares for him, but he has to have that kind of fake disapproval.
Yeah,
trying to keep them on their toes.
Pretty much. I guess Jenkins is kind of the he's the conscience, and he's amused by all of it, even though he sometimes is exasperated by it as well.
Yeah,
and kind of the de facto father
yes.
uncle figure.
Because he has to be. He's like somebody between him and Eve. They have to be the grown-ups in the room. Which makes, well, I won't say because I don't think we've all seen this week's episode, but
nope, not yet.
Yeah, there's some interesting dynamics there, and that was all I shall say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll watch it maybe after we're done, depending on what time it is. So.
Yeah, just trying to think what else about the first episode.
Yeah.
There was. There were just.
Well, now we've got
there was a lot of setup, and then I had read something where they had done an interview with Dean Devlin, and he's just like, yeah, it's going to be a little bit darker, more in the vein of the first three movies, but he was also hinting that one of the characters is not going to make it through the end of the season.
No.
And it's just like, oh boy, hedging bets here, because that first episode I was a little worried for Eve, because there's that training scene with Jake.
Yeah.
Trying to box, and then she's just like, turn your wrist 130 degrees, and then bam. And he's like, and then when that punching bag goes clear across the wall, he's like, Eve! I'm just like, okay, this is nice, but I'm a little scared for Eve. Just with the way she was training and setting things up. And then with what kind of happens in the second episode, I was worried for another character. I'm not going to name names because of...
Well, and I'm just like knowing that, I'm just sort of like, because this show, there's a lot of shades of leverage in this show.
Yes.
And with leverage, with leverage, it was like you needed to have the full team. I know there was a time where the I can't remember her name now.
Sophie.
The actress who played where she was
Gina
out
Donald
because
was pregnant. Yep.
Yeah, she was pregnant, and then they brought in another actress
Jerry
to kind
Ryan
of be the
for
grip.
Cole. Yep.
Yeah, but it's like, but then Sophie was back, so I'm just kind of like, it just didn't seem right. Nothing against Jerry Ryan, but it just didn't seem right that Sophie wasn't there.
Exactly.
And
it was kind of nice they brought her back in for those cameos here and there, but it's still it's just like, we want our original team.
Yeah, like I don't want them to get rid of anybody from the main team. So that's what makes me think like Jenkins, but then I'd be sad if he left too.
Yeah, because I'm just like, I don't want to read this. I don't want to see this. Who else are you going to bring in that has that chemistry?
Yeah.
That's going to make it work, unless this is just smoke and mirrors and they're taking out a page of Joss Whedon's book, but...
Well, and the thing is, it's like, when they say stuff like that, they're not going to be too specific,
Right.
Because you don't want to give anything away. So when they say someone may not, survive to the end of the season, it could be someone from the main cast. They could be talking about Vanessa Williams' character. So
True.
That
We're
could
seeing
be.
the way, the way the things were writing out, it just kind of happened that way. So we'll just have to wait and see. But it's just like,
yeah. So because now they've brought in this, this military group kind of Torchwood-esque kind of thing. With
trying to destroy get rid of magic, kind of like the Home Office from season 3 of Once Upon a Time, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, or when Henry was all gung ho for I'm going to destroy magic because it just does stupid things, and I'm like, no, you're not. Just stop.
Mm-hmm. Your whole family tree is based on magic, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would not be here if it wasn't for magic.
Yeah.
You owe your entire existence to magic.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of feels that way. So it's the goofy government shadow organization that's going to come in, and they they're bumbling around like, we don't know what magic is, so therefore we have to contain it. And Jenkins is sitting there going, no, you don't know, and I don't need people gumming all this stuff up or whatever it was. And it's just
I'm just hoping
leave
that
it to the
Dee would
professionals.
still have some pull from her government days, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's still kind of using her credentials as much as she can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not all the time, but it's still there.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Plus, there's like the end of the world potentially coming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes, that's always a factor.
Yeah. Well, with the Librarians, that's that's Tuesday. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly.
Tuesday and twice on Friday.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's like end of the world. Are we that concerned? Not really. At least us watching. We're not that.
We'll laugh about it over drinks and lunch after it's all over.
Pretty much. Although I like I said, I haven't watched the episode that aired last night yet, but I can't imagine that the team will be very happy to find out that Flynn lied about the potential threat.
Mm-hmm.
Flynn. He always seems to have his own agenda going on.
Like, oh no,
he's trying to protect them, but from all the other shows that known about people trying to keep secrets, how often has it worked out for said persons?
Not very often.
Yeah.
I swear, if Flynn says the words, "I was just trying to protect you," I'm gonna punch Noah Wiley if I ever meet him.
It's like, what are you thinking, man? You're a team for a reason.
It's not the actor's fault. It's the writers.
Okay, then I'll punch Dean in the face then.
It's like, does he look like Peter Parker to you? No? Well, then stop with the whole...
Yeah.
We ain't buying it anymore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's one of the things I love about the Librarians is it's not so tropey for unlike some other shows, but they start going into trope territory. I'm gonna have some words on the social medias or something.
Aren't necessarily a bad thing. It's when you're being sloppy about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Tropes should not be misused.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of like salt and pepper. You just want to use just enough.
Just enough. In just the right place.
Exactly.
Yes, that is very helpful.
Now,
See, tropes are a tool.
Yes. What have you ladies thought of the soundtrack for the first episode?
It's very Whovian to me. Like, it sounded very...
Yes. Towards the tail end of the first episode, I was just like, that almost sounds like I am the Doctor.
Uh-huh.
11 seems just like...
Yeah. I remember.
Because my ears perked up at that right away, because I've heard
Yeah.
that referred
Me
to so
too.
often.
So distinctive. And it... Yeah.
See, I've always felt like the Librarians as a whole, they've kind of taken, I don't know if they've directly taken cues from the Doctor Who soundtrack, but it's kind of reminded me of it throughout the whole series, so I'll have to go back and watch it again, see if I can pick up exactly the spot you're talking about. But I'm like, yeah, that doesn't surprise me, because the music, whenever I've caught it, I'm like, hey, that sounds like something from Doctor Who. But yeah, I'll have to go back and rewatch that one, because I'm like...
and some of the creators have already mentioned how big of a Doctor Who fanboys that they are.
Seeing how all the hints that they did with Leverage, all the little Doctor Who references.
Yeah. Baker, Moffat, McCoy.
Yeah.
Downloading Doctor Who.
Yes. What was it? The episode with the creepy dollhouse and Ezekiel is all. He made a TARDIS reference when he got trapped in the little thing.
Yeah, holodeck and TARDIS or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we did get a shot of a certain blue box during one of the Librarians episodes last year too.
The one about time travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a distinct
Among other
theme
things.
at that time.
There are several time travel references in that in the finale last year.
Yep, just a few.
Just a little. Well, they've made it no secret that the Librarians are heavily influenced by Doctor Who, among other things. I mean, even Flynn's wardrobe is very Doctor-esque. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I wonder sometimes what Eve is wearing. Sometimes she looks like she came to do her Guardian work in her pajamas, but that's probably a discussion for another time. I find myself
I mean, do they live at the library? Are there quarters for the librarians to live in? I mean, they could just be doing their work from the library, and she's just in her pajamas anyway.
We haven't found that out, and I would like to know.
Yeah,
excuse me. I assume that when you become the librarian, you don't really have a fixed place of residence, because you have to be at the library and be ready to go at a moment's notice. So it just sort of seems like, you get the library, it's like, here's a little apartment or something, or it can create such a thing because now there's more than one librarian. So I'm sure it's somewhere. It's one of those plot things. It's like, yeah, it's there. We don't really need to address it in the story because it's not that interesting, but just assume it's there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's something they'll explore later. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
So
maybe they'll do a journey to the center of the TARDIS type episode.
Yeah, I mean, they must keep the librarians, at least some of the librarians we know at least have brought some of their stuff to the library, because Ezekiel was using magic to fix his sweater.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And they, and there's a budget for for their thing, and Charlene's always like, save your receipts. Of course, she's...
So, we know at least, stuff has been brought to the library. But whether they live there, they don't know. It'll be, one thing that'll be interesting, and it seems like maybe they're also putting that in there. And again, because I have not watched the second episode, I don't know if this has been dealt with any further. But the fact that idea of the librarians being able to use magic kept getting brought up.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
yeah, that's another thing. They like, hey, we want to use
Cassie.
magic for stuff.
Besides
Jack
fixing
was like,
sweaters.
Price. I'm just like, okay.
And I was like, since when is this an issue? I am intrigued by this topic of conversation, and I wish to know more.
I imagine
So I'm sure that's going to get some play later on in this main story.
Probably. Oh. Yeah, this is.
I was trying to think what else. It's Librarians. It's
yeah,
pretty straightforward. Although I liked how they were Stone and Ezekiel were freaking out about
The
trying to try the submarine, and which way are we supposed to go, and then Ezekiel and then they're
both saying no sub.
Yeah. Every time Eve is like, no submarine. No submarine.
Then they end up in it, and she's like, fine, ram it into the wall. And he's like, are you sure? Yes.
Well, then Stone's trying to stop. Which, seriously, that sub was on display at a museum intended for people to go visit it. Why does it have loaded torpedoes?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I would like to pose that to the museum curators. It doesn't have to be completely
intact.
Accurate. To the point where you are loaded with weapons.
They're like, it's got torpedoes. Yeah. I'm like, why does it have actual active torpedoes attached?
Unless APEP was just like, oh, this has torpedo capabilities. I'm just going to put one in there because magic.
Or maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either. That's my explanation. A wizard did it. Tropes.
Maybe. But then what would when Eve's trying to talk Ezekiel through trying to drive the sub, and Cassie was talking about the or maybe it was Eve, whoever was talking about the interface, and it's like in Linux or something, and Ezekiel's like, I'm a millennial, I don't understand this Atari stuff.
Oh yeah, that was good. I rather enjoyed that.
Oh, librarians, we've missed you.
We really have. We've needed you.
Yeah. Just fun with magic. And lots of witty banter, and apparently singing.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, that was funny.
And I'm like, of all songs for them to pick, the Battle Hymn of the Republic.
Yeah. And somebody had posted, it's like, yeah, well, we meant we wanted Christian Kane singing. I don't think that's what we meant, but we'll take it.
Yeah.
Yes. They didn't exactly want a group sing along, but it still works out.
I'm sure it's probably because it was easy for them to get the rights to it.
Probably.
Some of those old military songs I don't think have any rights attached to them actually, so it's like, what can we do with our budget?
Mm-hmm. Which they probably don't have a very big one.
Yeah. We'll just chalk it up to budgetary reasons.
Yeah.
Considering, well, they're all American, although Ezekiel, doesn't have an American accent, so. And at least now we know they can kind of carry a tune.
Yep. And it was all, and they're all best friends and unified and woohoo, cupcakes and sprinkles for everyone.
Pretty much.
And the stuff and the graphics for Cassie's visions this time. Wow. Especially when they were trying to figure out that chess scene from earlier in the...
Oh, yeah, at the beginning. What were they in, like, Burning Man? What was that?
It was Burning Man.
Okay. It's like it literally was Burning Man. Like, what is this thing? Flynn is climbing up, and then it catches on fire. I'm like, what is this, Burning Man?
Apparently so.
So random. They just get to go all sorts of places.
Oh, yes.
Saves them a ton in airline tickets, I guess.
They don't have to worry about frequent flyer miles or blackout dates. They just dial up a portal and away they go.
No.
Like,
that'd be nice to have the portal.
Yeah. Just call up and go, we need a door. Man, I could go on vacation all the time.
Right?
It'd probably get frowned upon. But I could. Oh, my. Oh. So, Librarians, Sundays.
Sundays, go watch it. It'll
TNT?
If you're missing Doctor Who, this will kind of help fill that void.
And if you're a little leery about starting, go right ahead, because the seasons are short, only 10 episodes each, and they're enjoyable.
Yeah, very really enjoyable. The only thing I would note, and I tell everybody this, is that season 1 aired out of order.
Yes.
So, I tell everybody what the order is, and I can post that again on our Facebook page or something, because I was very confused towards the end when one episode was like, why is this being aired now? Because it didn't feel right, but then I figured out, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because with Cassie, yep.
With Cassie.
Discord.
Yeah, it was the Heart of Darkness that was the... Was the one I was like, that should be like episode 5, not episode 9 or 8 or whatever it was. 8. Toward the end. 8, yeah. But anyway, so yeah. But it's so much fun, and it's just it's not too deep. It's just fun, fluffy popcorn sort of things. So looking for something to watch of an evening if there's nothing good on. Pull that up on Hulu and give it a shot.
And it's family friendly for the most.
Yes.
For the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't feel bad putting that, watching it with my niece and nephew now, whether or not they would sit still long enough to watch an episode.
It's fault.
Yeah, that's not their fault. Not at all. I just spent a weekend with 2 very rambunctious little kids. Oh, bless them. I love them. They're little. But anyway, so, dear listener, if you want to chime in on your thoughts about the Librarians or anything any of our topics we've discussed, do so. You want to? Yeah, one more thing to say.
I just bought the seasons 1 and 2 seasons on iTunes, and season 2 has a gag reel. I love gag reels.
Oh, I wonder if it got included in my my season pass, pre or post, whatever. I don't know. After the fact.
Yeah, you have to check.
I have to check. I'm pulling it up.
It was released on January 8th, 2016, so you may not have noticed when it came in, or
I might not have.
Whatever.
That is true. Because after the
check, see if you got it.
I'm checking now on my Apple TV. Anyway, thanks for the tip. But,
I bought it the 2 seasons, and I was just looking through everything that's available, and it's like, there's a gag reel.
Oh my gosh, a gag reel for the Librarians. That has to be hilarious.
That's gotta be that priceless.
This is gonna be great. I look forward to watching that.
I'm like, that's gonna be worth it. Anyway, I'll have to.
Excuse me.
Yep, there it is, the gag reel. Okay, when I'm done here, I will
We know
watch
what
it.
she's gonna be watching.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, we definitely got to wrap up.
so listeners, go to the website. It's the 5ish Fangirls podcast.blogspot.com. You can also email us at 5ishfangirls@gmail.com, and we might read your feedback out on the podcast. Actually, we will read your feedback because we're just that way. And you can also join us on our social media. Facebook's kind of our big one. We're also on Twitter and Tumblr, Pinterest, YouTube, Instagram, and we're on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play, so you can download us at any of those fine podcast outlets. And then, as always, we thank our Patreon supporters as well for continuing to support us. And also our Amazon store is wide open. It is on our website. There's a link on the right-hand side, and if you click on that and shop Amazon through us, then we get a small kickback from Amazon, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. So, Christmas is coming. Today was Cyber Monday. I'm sure a lot of people were loading up their Amazon carts and filling stuff up. So if you used our Amazon shop list to do some shopping today, we thank you for that as well. And there's still, you can that's going to be up there in perpetuity. So check it out.
Mm-hmm.
And we love all of our listeners and all of our people who come and support us, because you guys are so much fun. I see all of the likes and comments on Facebook as I'm going throughout my day, because my work requires me to be on Facebook to post stuff, and I'm just like, you guys just make me smile. I love it. I love it when people come to our Facebook page. So, if nothing else, you're brightening my day.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it enhances yours as well. Things that we do.
Yep. Y'all are
So-
awesome. Cool. All right. Obviously, we're almost done with the year. As we're recording here. The month will be over in a few days, so we're getting well into December, and we've still got lots to talk about before now and the end of the year. So if you don't watch The Librarians or have nothing to contribute, feel free to chime in with anything else you see fit. We've got winter finales for several shows. Once Upon a Time, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that sort of thing will come out next few weeks. There's that little Star Wars movie that tickets went on sale for today, which I already got Chauncey's and I's, so we will go seeing it on opening day.
I have to get our tickets, but we'll probably do that soon.
Yep.
And also, any year in review things you want to talk about, fandom related, we will definitely be doing a year in review sort of thing. And I don't know about you all, but I think that there's a folklore or a tradition. I think it's from Scotland, where they would sweep the floor right after midnight on New Year's Eve, after the new year turns, and it's sweeping the old year out and welcoming the new year in, and I'm like, I cannot wait to sweep this year out, guys. I think I may actually do that this year, because it will make me feel better.
Yeah. We're just going to put a warning out there now for our dear listeners that when we go to do our year in review episode after the new year, that there may be Kleenex and or adult beverages involved in the recording.
Whatever your preference is. Chocolate.
I've been working on the notes because I have to go back through our Facebook feed because I can't always remember what month stuff happened because it starts to blend together after a while, for better or for worse. And there's just there's a lot of really good stuff, a lot of great movies, and we went to a lot of events and stuff this year, and Chrissy got married, and I met Stan Lee. So there's all this fabulous stuff, but I've had to type out the passing of way too many times. Looking over this year. So
I love how you equate me getting married with you meeting Stan Lee.
Well, for you that was your highlight. For me, that was my highlight for this year.
I know. I'm teasing. It was just funny the way that those two went together.
I know. That's all I've got this year.
I know.
Yeah. But just putting that warning out there to our listeners that our year review show may be, it's going to be a lot of good stuff, but there's probably going to be, us not being so happy. So
it's all good. Let's look forward to let's close out 2016 as best we can, and then look forward to a new year.
So. Look forward to those winter mid-season finales, Star Wars, Return of Doctor Who, even if it's only for a day. So we will.
Hey, I'll take it.
We will take what we can get in this last month. Oh my! So, and we have the Librarians. So.
Yep, Librarians is here to offer us comfort food. TV equivalent of comfort food. Anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
On that happy note, let's sign off for this week.
This is Brittany and Beto saying goodnight.
This is Christy saying goodnight from Salt Lake City.
This is how I know it's good evening.
This is Mitch saying goodnight from Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Glory, glory, hallelujah.
Glory, glory, hallelujah.
You have been listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. Any and all movies, books, games, and other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied.